for the diversion. Right on the surface, and without need of algebra, the most significant aspect of the MLM recruiting pay formula is visible and understandable. The formula, I remind them, is only based on overrides gained from having recruited a downline, and we already determined that recruiting is the only way to make money. In MLM, sales means recruiting. Retail means wholesale, the price paid by the downliner. And since everyone on the chain must meet a purchase quota, salesperson means buyer. Got it? I further remind the reporters that we've already determined that the pyramid structure always places the majority at the bottom. This is all in plain view, or can be figured out pretty quickly. Just beyond the pyramid shape of the plan, in which the great majority of recruits are positioned at the end of the chain, and before you get to all those rules, quotas, and ranks, there is a basic calculation. It's simple arithmetic. It is the allocation of commission rates to each level. Just add them up, and you will immediately see that the pay plan designates that the lower-level recruiters, the majority, benefit the least when and if they do make a sale. The reward plan for sales has been turned upside down. So not only are most people in the bottom, where they have little or no downline and therefore little or no income, but even when individuals do recruit some others, they still won't make a profit. The money they might have gained is transferred to the upper levels in extreme. This payout formula, unique to MLM, as is its endless chain of salespeople, contradicts all conventional sales compensation plans. In real sales businesses, the highest rate on each transaction is allocated to the persons making the sales, with diminishing and much smaller rates paid to each layer of managers above. Overall, in true sales companies, the great majority of the total commissions paid on each transaction goes to the lowest levels of the chain, where the sales are actually made or directly managed. Collectively, the upper management receives a much smaller proportion of total commissions. Individually, upper managers may earn more in total each year due to their position and responsibility, but they never get more of the total commissions on each transaction. In MLM, the opposite occurs. In MLM, I remind them, sales means recruiting. Money is made by recruiting new, quote, salespeople, who then buy product based on a quota for eligibility in the pay plan. In a research report published in 2008, I examined the payout disclosures of 11 multi-level marketing companies that serve as representatives of the industry. It showed that all of the companies transferred more than 50% of total payouts to the top 1% in the network in a single year, and much more than that for the top 4%. The true percentage of profitable participants in a multi-year time frame shrinks to a tiny percentage. The vast majority gains nothing at all because they failed to recruit anyone or not enough and soon quit. John Oliver's HBO show showed one major MLM in which over 95% of all the salespeople received no commissions at all, zero. Those near the bottom who do try to recruit get a pittance of the total commissions paid on their sales, purchases made by their new recruits after being enrolled. As senior economist, retired, Peter Vandernat wrote, unbeknownst to the general participants, the terms of the pyramid compensation plan secure the result that the vast majority will fail to obtain monetary rewards. Consumer advocate Dr. John Taylor analyzed the pay plans of most of the larger MLM companies. He called the typical MLM pay plan Top-weighted, a gentle way of describing a classic system of transferring most of the money from the bottom, the proverbial last ones in, to recruiters and owners at the peak of the pyramid. The trigger for the higher payout rate is the total purchase volume of the entire downline of enrollees. The more they work, the more is transferred out of their hands directly to those at the top. This upside-down, top-weighted formula was present in the Neutralite plan, the very first MLM, and it has never changed in 75 years for all the MLMs that were created. In that first MLM, the lowest rank qualified to gain a monthly bonus would receive 5%, which is the difference between his lower price and the higher price charged to his new recruit. On that same purchase transaction, in which the recruiter gained 5%, the levels above him received 20% collectively. 4 times more is paid to those that did nothing at all than is paid to the one that actually made it happen. The pay formula also added in special bonuses when higher volumes were reached by the recruiter's downline. The result is just to add more payment per transaction to the top ranks. At this point, I email many reporters a graphic showing how this all works out in simplified format, entitled The Perverse Proportion of a Pyramid Pay Plan, based on the work of Dr. Taylor. Fascinated, but now also horrified at the picture that is emerging and still clinging to the identity of MLM as, quote, direct selling, reporters typically now ask why the formula for recruiting bonuses is turned upside down. By now, most understand the absence of retail profit opportunity, the impossibility of the endless chain, the absolute and impossible requirement for recruiting, and how the pyramid puts most at the bottom where they can't make money. But why would MLM also turn the recruiting pay formula upside down, they ask? We are now descending into the deepest level of the MLM scheme, the point where the other steps of deception trigger the money transfer swindle. I explained that the upside-down reward plan is essential, and it fits tightly and integrally with the other elements we discussed: the unsustainable structure, the unjustified payments and purchase requirements, and unrelenting and impossible recruiting mandate. As we already determined, there is no sustainable retail customer base, no real demand for the goods, no need for a personal salesperson, and therefore little to no retail selling. But there is a tremendous market for income opportunity. That market has been drawing in more people since MLM was begun in 1945, and then grew tremendously since the mid-1970s. Today, it includes students with college debt, seniors facing mountains of medical bills and disappearing savings, families with unbearable rents, people already working 2 jobs, immigrants trying to survive, and military spouses facing multiple deployments, among others. The income opportunity market is exploding. It's just that, unfortunately, and fully known to the owners and top promoters of MLM, the MLM income opportunity, the one based on recruiting, does not exist. It is a phantom, a lure. It is the promised reward that cannot and will not be delivered. The actual plan results, by design, in more than 99% of the participants losing money. Such a plan can only reward a tiny number, the owners and the few at the top of the recruiting chains. But for them to reap their reward, all others must lose. It is the losses of those countless others that are transferred up and called income for owners and the top levels. Those losses are predetermined, baked into the plan and structure. The fourth defining element is called money transfer to distinguish it from justified rewards based on creating value and producing true profit. The upside-down pay plan, I say frankly now that we have laid out the whole picture, may seem to be a kind of insult piled on injury. It is not arbitrary, though. It is necessary. It is based on the most basic fact about the plan, that the last ones in cannot be successful. They are doomed by the endless chain design. They lost when they signed up. Why would the company lighten the hit? It would make no sense to waste commissions on them. They will be quitting soon. As many as 80% of the latest recruits do quit within the first year of joining, but they are replaced. Some move on to other MLMs, replacing dropouts at those companies. The object is to get them to buy as much as possible, that's why there are purchase quotas, for as long as possible. That's why they are promised unlimited income if they keep buying, and if they miss even 1 month, they lose everything. And get as much from them, the extreme money transfer formula, as possible while they are enrolled and buying. The lost investments of the new recruits who are seeking the legendary income opportunity are the primary revenue source of the MLM company. The top-weighted MLM plan rewards those that do the enterprise's most valuable work. Toward gaining that revenue, they add the most value to the enterprise as it is designed. That value they add is not measured by their individual sales or even the sales of their recruits. Those sales come after a person is persuaded and enrolled. Value is measured by their contribution to the company's mission. But what is that mission? I am asked, hesitantly, betraying a dread of my answer. It's to deceive all the new recruits about the non-existent income opportunity. It's to get them to believe. MLMs seek to capture the mind of the recruit. Money will follow. The more they believe, and the longer they believe, the more money the company gets from them. The Top Gun recruiters audaciously repeat and act out the big lie on stage, on videos, and with their lifestyle, their politics, and their claims of success. The Top Gun recruiters orchestrate the recruiting campaigns and serve as the role models for all who desperately hope to get to the top, where they too will have, quote, success, not understanding that only 1% of a percent can be there. The black hat recruiters and the company owners play the roles of guru, the holders of ancient secrets to success. Totally fulfilled and enlightened persons, they persuade recruits that they must become like them or be doomed to live as losers. Inevitably, at this point in the calls that had begun so blithely, I sense a line has been crossed, and the mood has shifted away from further inquiry. Questions stop. A point was reached earlier where the reporters already realized that this story, regardless of its veracity, would never be published. I finish it off anyway. So we can say, I say, the 4 defining elements of MLM, endless chain, pay to play, recruiting mandate, and money transfer, are exactly the elements of a pyramid scheme. A portrait of one is a replica of the other. Both rely on deception. Both cause the last ones in to lose. You pay to join an endless chain. You find others to also join to get some of their money for yourself. You falsely promise every new person they will make money when they bring others in, and if they don't, they lose out. And the money from the new people is the money the earlier people receive. Though I'm not asked, but just to round out the portrait, I explained that most naked pyramids eventually collapse when not enough new people join, resulting in others not getting their rewards. The chain breaks. But MLM is not recognized as a pyramid scheme because its true anatomy is disguised. Its endless chain keeps breaking but is repaired as new people replace the losers. MLM is officially designated as direct selling. It is legitimate, so people keep joining, lured by deception and driven by hope and need. Even though the data exists, showing the 90+% loss rates, it was even explained comically by John Oliver on HBO, few people believe it. Because how could that be true and it also be legitimate? MLM, they are told, sits at the head table of the Chamber of Commerce. It has the support of Congress. Its shares of stock are traded on Wall Street. The courts and the FTC affirm it is legal. Top celebrities and other star athletes endorse it. Even President Trump promoted several MLMs. So the losses, they conclude, must be, quote, market-based. The fault of the losers. Buyer beware. Work harder. Be positive. Losses only happen to average people. The opportunity is real. It's the American dream and all that. Now, the reporters usually thank me sullenly and quickly end the phone call. The articles that are published almost always quote the Direct Selling Association about the popularity of direct selling, about average incomes of direct sellers, and how those that don't make money just didn't want to or didn't try hard enough. They just enrolled to get the wonderful products at a discount. A photo of a winner is featured smiling in front of a display of skin lotions. Six-figure incomes are cited as possible. I am quoted as a critic, claiming that MLMs operate as pyramid schemes. But the article also notes the FTC says MLM is legitimate.